Right, ready? So, good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Countryside virtual Help to Buy event, the Essex edition. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'd like to introduce our panel of experts who will be here today to explain about Help to Buy, how it works, about finance, and about the wonderful new developments that Countryside are offering. Just in case you want to look at this again later, because there is a lot of information, you might not be able to write everything down that you need. You can go back and watch it at your leisure on YouTube at Countryside Prop. So just make a note, Countryside Prop on YouTube. So my name is Linda Clark. I'm the editor of First Time Buyer magazine. And I'd like to welcome Jo Riand and Charlotte Gallagher, who are both sales managers at Countryside. Dom Briggs, who is Stonebridge Mortgage Services, and Chris Warnes, who's from New Homes Mortgage, who's a New Homes mortgage broker. So welcome to our panel. And today I'm going to start off talking about what Help to Buy actually is and how does it work. So, Help to Buy is basically a government-backed scheme where the government lends you 20% of the cost of your newly built home. So you will only need a 5% cash deposit and then a 75% loan-to-value mortgage to make up the rest. The thing about it is that you have obviously got to buy a new build home, and it has to be up to the value of £600,000. So anything up to £600,000, you can use Help to Buy. There is a slight difference though for London. If you're buying in the London area, the government lends you 40% of the cost of your newly built home. So again, you only need a 5% cash deposit and a 55% mortgage to make up the rest. Now, you will also find that actually on this example that you can see here, you should be able to see how much deposit you would need. If you were buying a £300,000 home, you'd need £15,000 for your 5% deposit. £60,000 is the loan, and therefore you would need a mortgage of £225,000. So that makes it fairly clear how you go about it. Now, eligibility. Currently, at this moment in time, first-time buyers and existing homeowners who are looking to move to a new home are eligible to purchase a home through the Help to Buy scheme and through London Help to Buy. And again, up to the value of £600,000. Now, there are some criteria attached to this. You can't sublet your home, and you can't enter into a part exchange deal on your old home. So you must either own your own property or be a first-time buyer, but this is not a home that you can buy as an investment and not live in. You have to buy a home and live in it. You're not able to rent it out. So then there are some changes coming in 2021. From April the 1st, 2021, the Help to Buy equity loan and the London Help to Buy one will only be open to first-time buyers. And there's regional price caps on these properties. So basically, there are these quite big changes coming. It is restricted to first-time buyers, and there will be regional property caps. So up till April 2021, you could buy a home for up to £600,000. After that, if you're a first-time buyer and you're buying in Essex or the east of England, you can only buy a home up to £407,400. And for London, it's £600,000. So that is quite a big difference. So it's worth thinking about if you want to do the Help to Buy scheme, you really should get moving now if you want to take advantage of buying a home up to £600,000, regardless if you are a first-time buyer. But that is not coming in until April 2021, and that finishes, the whole scheme finishes in March 2023. So there is a window of opportunity for first-time buyers through those years if you want to take advantage of it. So if we go to the next slide. So I would like to introduce Chris and Dom, who are going to talk to you about the financial side of how Help to Buy works. But before we move on to them, I think we've just got a couple of questions. Of course, if you have a question, please do go onto your Q&A button and just type in the question, and we'll hope we can answer it. So our first question is, gosh, they're coming in thick and fast. So I want to buy a home using Help to Buy, but I'm not sure if I can make any changes to the home, which means you might want to, you know, put a new bathroom in or change the kitchen, something like that. Am I able to do that? Yes, of course, you can. The home is yours, even though you have an equity loan. The home is yours. It is 100% yours, and you can do exactly what you like with it once you've bought it. Can I rent a room where I live there? As far as I know, I don't think you can rent a room. I've just checked with my panel. Does anybody know can you definitely not rent a room?
With the Help to Buy scheme, you're not allowed to rent the property, but there's nothing stopping you having a lodger. You just need
a lodger.
Help to Buy where.
Absolutely. So if you wanted to rent a room out to a lodger, that is fine. You can't rent the whole property. And I think you can rent, there is a cap to, I think it's, I'm not sure, again, my financial experts will know. I think you can rent up to a certain amount, can't you, and get rental for about £7,000 before you have to declare tax.
Any income you draw needs to be declared regardless. Whether or not a tax liability is due will be down to how much income you earn a year.
Right. Okay.
Any income you receive as part of a business, rental income, of course, would need to be declared as standard.
Right. Okay. And then, is the government loan interest free? So yes, it is, for the first 5 years. So when you take out the 20% equity loan or the 40% equity loan if you're buying in London, it's interest free for the first 5 years, but there is £1 a month management fee. After the 5th year, Help to Buy will charge interest on the loan at 1.75%, rising each year by the increase in the retail price index plus 1%. So you have to remember that after 5 years, interest will start kicking in. You can repay the Help to Buy loan in full or in 10% increments. So the only thing you have to think about is if you want to move, if you want to pay back some of the loan, you have to have your house valued at the time, because you pay back the loan at the market value of the house at the time, or the apartment, because you can buy, Help to Buy can be applicable to both houses and apartments. So you have to pay back the loan anyway after 25 years or when you come to sell the property. Right, lovely. So I think we'll now move on to our financial experts. If you'd like to kick off the next section, please.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is just talk you through just a couple of questions that have been floating about that is causing a little bit of anxiety in the markets for our customers. So I just want to sort of clarify a few areas before we move on to talking through furlough and the rest. So can we get a mortgage? A mortgage is available. Well, they are. Mortgages are available. currently up to around 85% loan to value. That's where you're putting down just a 15% deposit. And of course, Help to Buy is now available as well. We will see the introduction of some higher loan to value products in the coming weeks. I think Virgin Money are re-releasing some 90% deals next week as well. So for those clients with a higher loan to value need where they necessarily do not want to use Help to Buy, it will be back. It's just a matter of waiting. Mortgages naturally are taking longer to arrange than they once were. And this is mainly because of furloughed staff, lenders dealing with existing customers, and then the backlog of mortgage valuations. Okay, so as a result of the lockdown and social distancing, surveyors have not been able to do the surveys. What they've had to do actually is see whether they're able to complete a desktop valuation, which is where a physical inspection is not required. And if they can't, then the survey is very simply put on hold until further notice. Now, we are seeing them start to get booked back in. So watch this space. We will see those surveys booked in shortly. Mortgage product availability. As I said in the first point, products are every day being re-released back into the market. It's an ever-changing situation. But at the moment, given the low interest rates are starting from, on Help to Buy, for example, 1.36%. Non-Help to Buy, I've seen rates as low as 1.25. So deals are good. They are available. The only client today that has been impacted, as I've mentioned, is the higher loan to value client, but Help to Buy is there to help if needs be. Next slide. Okay, so furlough. Now, if you've been put on furlough, this could impact you in a number of ways. Some of our customers are on furlough where they are on 80% salary. Some of our customers are being topped up by employers up to 100% salary. Now, if you are on furlough, the lender will review a mortgage for you. They will consider an application for you, but it's all going to be based on plausibility and whether or not your income is going to be sustainable. So if the mortgage was affordable, say, on your full-time income, and now you're on furlough and the mortgage is unaffordable, the lender will base the mortgage based on your furloughed income. So they will not be in a position to offer you the mortgage you need if it's not affordable. Having said that, once you do return to work, if you have a date that you plan to return to work, a letter and a payslip prior to going to furlough is all you would need to provide to us. At that point, we could discuss with a lender on a case-by-case basis to see whether we could use the full income. If you're self-employed, it is slightly different. Lenders are now doing what they call a full underwrite on the application. So what does that mean? So as a self-employed individual, your income is declared each year to HMRC and you'll pay your taxes based on that. So the lender will assess your income by using either an average or the most recent year's account or an average of the last 2 years' accounts. Now, if we look at your accounts up to April 2020, that's based on the previous year. It's not necessarily going to give us a true reflection of the year to come. So again, the lender will ask for your accounts to assess the income. And if they feel the income is sustainable going forward, then following the full underwrite, they'll be happy to consider offering you a mortgage. But the important part here is to note that there will be a full underwrite and the applications will be assessed on a case-by-case basis for the self-employed customer. Next slide. Contractors and those on 0-hour contracts. Now, again, this is a little bit more difficult. If you are still working, if you're a key worker and you're still working and we can supply evidence of your income, then it'll be absolutely fine. That there haven't been any changes. I just want to reiterate what I said earlier on. The lenders at the moment are reviewing cases on a case-by-case basis. If the income is sustainable, if there's plausibility in the lending, you will not have any issues. If there are any problems with the lending, then that will be highlighted on a pre-qualification assessment, and then we can put a plan in place going forward of how we can make the mortgage work once you are back to work full-time.
That's very interesting.
Overtime. So overtime, commission, bonuses, is again all on a case-by-case basis. Nationwide, for example, aren't using any additional income, just basic, whereas others are happy to consider it as long as it's sustainable and the proposal is plausible. Okay. So Chris?
Thanks, Dominic.
There's a couple of questions, Dom, before we go over to Chris, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody's asking, can they, with the mortgage term, is it only 25-year mortgage, or can they have a mortgage with more than 25 years on it if they were buying with the scheme?
Okay, so Help to Buy must be repaid within 25 years. That's the Help to Buy loan. The mortgage, on the other hand, you can arrange the mortgage over a term up to your state retirement age, if you wanted to. Some lenders would take it to age 75, but the maximum mortgage term is 40 years.
Right, great, thank you. And then another question is, if you wanted to put a larger deposit down on a home using Help to Buy, will that reduce the mortgage?
Yeah, you can either. Chris is about to go through Help to Buy. Would you like to answer that one, Chris?
Yeah, Dominic, I'll pick these up. So there's quite a few questions that we've had come in, so thank you for all of those. What we'll do is I'll just run through some of these and see if I can answer as many as I can. But in terms of deposit, you can put down more deposit on the Help to Buy than the 5% that's needed. It will reduce your mortgage balance, obviously. So if you're putting in 10% deposit, your mortgage balance will be that little bit lower. But yeah, the minimum requirement is going to be 5%. Couple of other questions we've got come in. So we've got one here that says, I'm not on furlough, but had a temporary 20% pay cut for the next 3 months. Will my mortgage application still take the original salary into consideration? So that's a very good question. I've had one this week, actually, where the income was a voluntary reduction, and the lender actually worked on the lower income. So if, however, your employer is able to confirm that in 3 months' time you will be going back to the original salary, lenders would consider that with a letter from your employer to confirm, and also a pay slip from your full-time salary prior to taking the pay cut. So it will be subject to lender review, but it is something that can be considered. Couple of other questions that we've got come in.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris, can I just add, just on that question that was asked before about the deposit that can be contributed. If the deposit is also high enough, you don't have to take the full 20% from Help to Buy.
Yeah, so as long as you get to 75% loan to value, that's the key. We haven't got mortgage products above 75%. So whether it's a combination of 5% from you, 20% from the government, 10% from you, 15% from the government, you need to achieve the 75% loan to value. We've got another question here. What would happen if you sell your property at a loss?
Yeah.
So the government will ride up and down. So if you sell your property lower than the original purchase price, the government will take 20% of the sale price. So in that scenario, on a house at 500,000, the government initially lent you 100. If you subsequently sold at 450, then you'll be repaying 90,000 back. So they take the risk both on the downside and the upside. One of the questions, we've got a question here regarding poor credit. How real are some of the bad credit mortgage partners? So I wouldn't rule out bad credit at the moment. We're starting to see lenders unwind criteria. They were very risk averse initially, and they're slowly coming back to the market. So we've had a couple of lenders this week, Precise, for example, that's come back into the market on Help to Buy. They typically had a product range that ranged from clean credit all the way through to adverse, which might be a number of defaults, CCJs. So I think speak with your financial advisor and we can help position that. And if it's not ready now, we can give you guidance as to when it will be ready to submit and apply for the mortgage. Okay, so in terms of next steps, so Linda's kindly gone through how you are eligible for Help to Buy and how the scheme works. So what I want to cover off with you today is looking at what the process is buying under the Help to Buy scheme. So what does it involve? Now, the first step is going to be contacting the house builder and select the potential Help to Buy property. So that's the first stage. At that point, you really want to be having conversations with an independent advisor, because what they'll do is they're going to run through your Help to Buy affordability and also looking at mortgage availability. So it's quite common that we see people have been online, looked on online calculators, and the mortgage figures that are coming out look affordable. But Help to Buy are slightly different. So they stress test at 4.5 times income, and they also do a debt to income ratio. So this is where people get caught out most, and that's looking at future costs, higher mortgage payment, repayment of the Help to Buy interest after 5 years. So that stress test tends to trip people up. So there might be a difference between the mortgage and the Help to Buy. So your starting point is checking that you're eligible on the Help to Buy scheme. Step 3, once you've got your mortgage in principle, you're ready to reserve your property. House builder will take £500 reservation fee from you, and that's going to secure the plot that you're wanting to buy. So if somebody else comes along interested in the same plot, that's off the market, that's yours. And you would have 28 days from that point to get things really moving, get your application submitted, mortgage offer issued, and exchange contracts. Once you've done your reservation, the builder will hand you back to your advisor, your financial advisor, and you're ready to submit the Help to Buy application and get your mortgage application underway. So with the Help to Buy, there's a property information form. So this is a 6 or 7 page document. The guidance is it takes about an hour to complete. So this is where we're here to help. We can get you set up on the online portal. We can complete the form for you based on the documents that you've already provided us with. We can send that completed form to you for you to review, check, make sure it's accurate, sign and send back, and then we get that application sent off for you. That Help to Buy application will go with a copy of the builder's reservation form to the local Help to Buy agent, and they will refer back to the affordability calculator that we've previously gone through with you to check eligibility and affordability. So once they've done that, you will then receive your authority to proceed. That takes 4 working days, and at that point you can then proceed and submit your mortgage application.
Very interesting. Well, there's a couple more questions, if you wouldn't mind answering them.
Yeah.
So, is there a 30% discount for key workers being introduced yet? And also, is there a special mortgage for anybody in the NHS?
So, not at the moment. I expect we are seeing criteria and lenders and the general proposition changing daily, hourly in some instances. So at the moment, there's nothing that's been introduced, but not saying that won't happen. No. So at the moment, it's just watch this space. It may or may not, but yeah, at the moment, no.
And is the 4.5 income a joint income or a sole income?
Yeah, the income multiple is joint. When we run through the Help to Buy calculator with you, some of the fields that are input will be basic salary, for example, and the calculator will use 100% of that. Any overtime, bonus or commission, that the calculator will take 50%. So then when we add that together with the joint income, the joint applicant, it would then be a 4.5 multiple of that. You do need to factor in other costs, so any loan commitments, credit cards, student loan, pension contributions, so payslip deductions will be included as well. So that's where you really need to get qualified on Help to Buy from the right at the beginning on the calculator with your advisor.
Right, that's really interesting. Thank you. Well, now we all know that we've had lockdown, and it's been very tricky to get out and about, and you know, we've all been following the government guidelines, but virtual viewings, these have been taking place. So what are they, and how do I do a virtual viewing? Charlotte,
Thanks, Linda.
you're going to help us out with that one.
Morning, everyone. Okay, so we have been carrying these out over the last few weeks, and they have proven to be really successful. A lot of people have still wanted to view, which is really positive. So Countryside are delighted to offer a varying sort of number of ways that you can still view the properties. The first is a link to a YouTube show home tour. So we have lots of links for lots of different house types. So do get in contact if there's a select house type that you like and you want to view. A pre-recorded tour from a sales consultant. So equally so, what our sales consultants have been doing is going into properties, taking video tours of them, and then they can send it out to you if that's something that you're interested in. A live tour from our sales consultant. So equally so, we can do, say, FaceTime with you, or we can do WhatsApp video calling with you, and we can walk you around the actual home, talk you through the specification and such that way. Or we can do a socially distant physical viewing with you. Again, these have proven to be very successful. All of it, obviously, in relation to health and safety and making sure everybody is safe with the viewing. But it means that a sales consultant can meet with you on site safely with social distancing, open up the property, stand back, allow you to view, and then obviously answer any questions that you have at the very end at a distance from yourself. So if you are interested in any of those options, just let us know, because it is something that we are carrying out at the moment, as I say, very safely, but there are lots of options if you do still want to move forward with the viewing.
They are amazing, those virtual viewings. I've done one myself, and they are so good. It's really exciting when you're going round.
They're great. They're really helpful, and obviously you still get a feel of the property, so it is still like being there, but virtually. So all you need to do is just call or email our sites, our developments, speak with our sales consultants. Obviously they'll book it in for you, they'll tailor it to you for exactly what you're looking for. They'll arrange it on the best time and day, obviously to contact you on and meet with you on site potentially. And if it is obviously a video tour, they can do it, as I say, via Zoom, WhatsApp, Teams, or Skype. So just let us know what suits you best, and obviously we'll work with you to get you moving forward. Great.
And anybody can have a viewing, can't they? You don't have to necessarily, I mean, it's just anybody that's interested in a property. There has been a question saying, can you view even if you haven't got a mortgage in place?
Absolutely. I think, you know, all of our purchasers at the very beginning of their journey, they won't have a mortgage in place anyway. So we welcome everybody's at different stages of their buying process, aren't they? So absolutely, we welcome anybody to come and virtually tour with us, or equally so, do a safe face-to-face tour.
Brilliant. Actually, in some ways, it's a good time to buy, because you are getting a one-to-one service completely when you're going to view, you know, with the sales consultant in a safe way. You have just, you know, you've got time to talk then, and also the virtual viewings, you can ask the sales consultant anything you'd like then. It's really good.
Absolutely. So, next slide, please. So Bank of Mum and Dad, another thing obviously to talk about with you all, we offer some fantastic schemes to be able to move forward at Countryside, one of which is called the Bank of Mum and Dad scheme. So as it says, if you could use a little help from a family member, parent, it could even be any other family member such as an uncle, aunt, then obviously if you don't have enough deposit, they can help you out. In reward for the parents, we offer £2,000 on completion of your new home. With the eligibility side of things, the only thing that we would ask is that your mum and dad or family member are contributing at least 5% of the purchase price to your deposit. So that's the only thing we ask, and obviously that just has to be filled out in a leaflet at the point of reservation, and then obviously the admin teams and all of us in the background do the work to get it all sorted for you.
That's a brilliant deal. Brilliant.
Yeah. A lot of our purchasers use it, so absolutely take advantage of the scheme, and you can use it obviously in alongside Help to Buy, so it's great.
That's great. Just going back, Charlotte, to the virtual viewings, can you view a house? Can I do a virtual viewing of a house that isn't finished, is one of our questions.
That is something obviously that we're looking at the moment, but mainly the viewings that have been taking place are of show units or properties that are build complete. It's obviously with health and safety at the moment, yeah, we have to be really careful. So I think really the answer right now would be if it's under construction, possibly not, but obviously dependent on where it is in terms of build, obviously we've discussed it. And if there was one that was build complete, it might be that maybe we don't have one at that particular development, but there might be another model of it at another development that we could look at with them. So it just depends. Just let us know what you want to look at, and we can obviously tell you where there are those house types available to view.
Fabulous. And the last question, just on the virtual viewings, is somebody that works shifts. What time can you do a virtual viewing? Do you fit in any time that people are available?
I think obviously the sales consultants, they're working, they'll be working from 10 until 5 every day. So, and that's equally so, that's over weekends as well. We cover 7 days a week. So if it does happen that you have a day off, say at the weekend, we can accommodate that. That's absolutely fine. Between hours, obviously it probably wouldn't be outside of those hours for health and safety reasons and obviously daylight and such, but within those hours, absolutely. And as I say, 7 days a week.
Fantastic. And your show homes, are they on the YouTube that you can watch, and your website, are they there?
They will be, absolutely. If you can't find them, again, just get in contact with us, get in contact with the sales consultants, ask them, and we can send you links, because the majority of the homes we do have sort of virtual video tours for, but we won't have them for all of them. So there will be opportunities, obviously, if there are units that are built out on site, that the sales consultant maybe could go and do a tour of that one for you and then send it to you in its place. So just let us know which one you're interested in.
Very, very good. Fantastic. Well, now we're going to have a look at some of these amazing developments which are across Essex, and I think Joe is going to run through them. They really are sensational. So, Joe, if you'd like to start off with these fabulous.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda, and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. So we have a range of various sites across the Essex region, as you could see here on the slide. I'm going to just give you a brief overview of each of these sites, just to give you an idea, obviously, of what we're currently offering for sale. Anything, obviously, that you are interested in, I would suggest that you then make contact with the sales consultants that are on each individual site. And they'll be able to give you more detailed information on the availability with the prices, etc. So in Chelmsford, we have various developments in Chelmsford. Now, the first one that we're going to come to is a very well-known Beaulieu development. It's been running for quite some time already, approximately 5 years, and it is over a 20-year period of time, with probably around 3,600 homes being built overall. So various phases that will be going across there. It's currently open over 3 outlets, as you can see here on the slide. So we've got Beaulieu Heath, which is comprising of a range of our New England style homes, and they currently range from 3 to 5 bedroom properties, which is the top left-hand slide you can see here on the screen. Beaulieu Oaks, below it, is our traditional style homes, which offer a wide range of properties from 1-bedroom apartments through to 6-bedroom houses. And a further phase of Beaulieu Oaks will shortly be coming along and being released. And then to the right of the slide is our centre, but above that we've got our Beaulieu Keep contemporary style homes. Now that's got a range of impressive styles across the recently released phase, with new show homes in place for everyone to see. So Beaulieu really does offer something for everyone. Beautifully designed properties set amidst generous open landscaping, parkland areas, cycle trails and play areas. So it really is worth a look if you've not actually been down to the development. Now, as I said on the slide, we also have at the bottom right hand corner the centre. Now the centre forms part of the approach as you come into Beaulieu off of White Hart Lane, and that provides us with a range of shopping facilities, food outlets. The local Sainsbury's is there. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly on the slide, but local Sainsbury's is there as well. We also have at the top of the road as you come in the courtesy bus that actually takes you through to the town centre and also to the train station. In addition, there is schools form part of the development, a nursery, and later on we will have a future train station. So here on the slide you can see at the moment are the availability for the Help to Buy facility. And this is showing you various house types that we've got ranging across the actual developments, all on the Beaulieu sites that we've just discussed.
Yeah, they're really gorgeous, aren't they?
They are. They are. All of the properties have got something to offer. It really just depends what you've actually got. You know what your requirements are. There is really something there for every single person.
And the courtesy bus, I think, is really useful because obviously that takes you to and from the station, which is, how far away is that, Joe? Station, how long does it take?
Station, well, golly, probably 10 minute drive at the most. I mean, some people do actually walk it that actually live there. If you're a keen walker, you can walk it. The courtesy bus also, you get free travel for up to 4 family members for the first 12 months. Goodness. And then there's a discounted scheme with it afterwards.
That's really going to save a big saving. Just before you move on to the next development, I did have a question. Are there any plans for 2-bedroomed houses rather than apartments planned for Beaulieu?
Yes, there are. As I say, we've got another sort of approximately another 15 years of build down at Beaulieu. There will be 2-bedroom houses coming in the future at most of the developments, to be fair.
That's really good. So whoever sent that question in, just watch this space because they will be coming soon, I'm sure. Great, yes. Thank you.
Next slide, thank you, Dan. Okay, Hanbury Place down at Broomfield, still in the Chelmsford area at all. With us, 165 units in total, comprising a mix of apartments, 2-, 3- and 4-bedroom homes. Now, this development's done very, very well, and currently we're approximately 80% sold. We've just got the 4-bedroom homes remaining. The development itself is located on the road leading up to the Broomfield Hospital, which benefits you from being able to utilise the shopping complex located within the hospital itself. But Chelmsford Town Centre and the railway station is only 10 minutes drive away. So again, very convenient, location for somebody that's actually living there. So 4-bedroom houses from 450 up to 600, including the Chelmer, the Willow and the Turnstone house designs on that development currently. Meadow Rise in Braintree. Meadow Rise consists of 106 properties, traditional style again, as you can see from the photograph. We're currently on the first phase, with a further phase going to be released at a later date. There's a very good mix of properties currently available, ranging from apartments and houses. Meadow Rise is about a 10-minute walk from the train station and town centre of Braintree, and is also very close to the Freeport shopping village. Chelmsford, approximately 20 minutes by car if you wanted a larger variety of shops and facilities to utilise. Current Help to Buy availability obviously on screen as you can see, so quite a lot there to choose from.
Amazing.
Mulberry Green in Hatfield, Peverel is our most recent development. Now, it's a small development of just 50 units overall, comprising of 3- and 4-bedroom homes. Lovely styling again, as you can see. It's in very close proximity to the local train station and only about a 10-minute drive to Chelmsford. Occupation probably for Mulberry Place will be in 2021 due to the COVID delay that we've recently had. But we are still selling these units. And as you can see, availability starts from 395 up to 500 for a 4-bedroom home.
Oh, amazing. Somebody's just sent in a question just to say that they're obviously interested in buying one. I hope they are. Do they have to pay for extras such as things like integrated appliances in the kitchen, flooring? Are there options here, Jo? Or is it, I mean, it obviously comes with a certain amount of things.
Yes. So the thing we pride ourselves at Countryside is we actually build with more or less everything in the actual house for you. It's what we consider a very good specification with everything included for you. All of your appliances are there, your flooring. Depending on the stage of the build, you would have a choice to make. So you can choose your carpet and your Antico product there, providing that it's not already been built and beyond that stage. Otherwise, everything is there, as I say, all your tiling in your bathrooms, all your sanitary ware, appliances, turf in the rear garden, landscaping to the front. So literally everything you can think of other than you moving your furniture in.
Oh, that's really amazing. It's going to save you a fortune.
Yes, yes, it is. And what's nice is the show homes are designed to give you an idea of obviously layouts and the types of thing that you get. Your kitchens, obviously your sanitary ware and your appliances are all a standard specification that you will find in your house that when it's built for your home.
Right. That's brilliant.
St Luke's Park in Runwell, just outside Wickford. Now, very lovely development. As you can see by the slide, the houses are very spaced out down there. There's 5 phases in total down at St Luke's Park with approximately 550 new homes. We're currently selling phases 3 and 4, which consist of between 2 and 5 bedroom homes. There's a bus service commuter link taking you through to Wickford Station, and part of the overall scheme with future plans for a primary school and shops. So again, very, very well thought out and very convenient for everything else. The current availability on the Help to Buy is on the screen for you. And you've got 2 bedroom houses starting from 350. So the client that obviously inquired earlier about 2 bedroom properties, if their area is obviously going outside of Chelmsford, then it may be worth a look having it at St Luke's. And obviously 3 bedroom homes we've got starting from 367,995.
Yeah, it's really good. Jo, can you, a question that's coming, can you pass exchange your existing home and buy a new one and use Help to Buy?
No, you can't. So with the Help to Buy facility, the Help to Buy providers will not allow you to part exchange your existing home, unfortunately. We do what we call an assisted move, which the sales consultants would be able to explain to you how that works. It wouldn't actually involve us buying your house in, but we can actually take control of it for you and make the process much, much easier for you.
Right.
But if you need to utilise the Help to Buy scheme, you won't be able to part exchange.
No, that's fine. And just one other question. Somebody wants to know what stage could they possibly introduce soundproofing and underfloor heating if they wanted? I mean, obviously at their own expense. Is that a possibility?
No. As I say, what we do at Countryside is we build what we deem to be a very good specification as standard procedure. We don't do any changes to the properties at all during the build process. We don't have the infrastructure to do that within our build teams, but we feel that what we do provide actually gives people mainly everything that they actually need.
Yes, I mean they look at, from the pictures on the screen. I mean, you've got everything you could possibly want.
They are amazing, Linda. They really are.
Yes, I'm absolutely sure they're lovely.
Yeah. Next slide, Dan, please. So Wolsey Park at Rayleigh, again, is one of our recently developments to open. The show homes are due to be open in June down at Rayleigh. It's a parkland development of approximately 500 units in traditional style again, ranging between 2-bedroom and 5-bedroom homes. And it's located approximately 2 miles from Rayleigh town centre and the train station. The phase 1 was recently launched in late 2019. It's built on 50 acres of open green space, which includes children's play areas, cycle trails, parkland walks, and potential for on-site health provision and educational facilities in the future as well. So again, the current Help to Buy availability there is 3 and 4 bedroom homes. And I would suggest that you register to see the show homes that will be opening later on in June.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, since we've had the COVID situation, have really embraced wanting outside space. So a lot of your developments have got a lot of outside areas with parkland and green space available, which I think is really important, don't you?
Most definitely. And I mean, you know, going back to Beaulieu particularly, there's lots of facilities that have been put in place there, like doggy litter bins, you know, for people walking their dogs, and things. So there's a lot of thought that goes into all of our developments to embrace the open space that has been part of the overall design and the planning.
And they're also perfect for families because you know you've got school or educational facilities and things. So families obviously will love that. That's things on your doorstep for the children.
Very much so, and the larger developments have got the park areas for the children to play in as well. So it really is a family environment to be living in. Really, really lovely.
A safe family environment is definitely ticking all the boxes. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you. Oaklands Hamlet over at Chigwell. So again, traditional styling over at Oaklands Hamlet. It's an impressive collection of new homes there that we have in a parkland setting again on the outskirts of Chigwell, and it's only 2 miles from the train station. Now, properties at Oaklands Hamlet range from 2-bedroom apartments through to 5-bedroom houses, and they do benefit from being located in the Redbridge district, therefore qualifying for the current London Help to Buy scheme at 40% on any properties up to 600,000. So currently there we have the 3-bedroom homes, the Heppel and the Goodwin, that qualify for that Help to Buy scheme currently.
Great. One of the questions that's just come in also is the apartments, do they come with a balcony?
They come with a Juliet balcony. So you've got the double doors that obviously open up. You haven't got a physical balcony that you can sit outside on. Not at this particular development. Some of our other apartments and other developments do have balconies.
Right. Great. Somebody is obviously really keen. They're asking if the sales offices are open today and can they come along and visit this afternoon?
The sales offices are open today, in as much that the people, they're not actually at the sales offices, they are working from home, so they can take your calls if you ring through to the sales office number.
Right.
We, depending on what development is and the availability of the sales consultant, you would need to ring and just speak to them as to see how their diary is for the tours that Charlotte explained earlier.
Great. And are there any extra charges for things like parking and maintaining obviously the communal areas like the landscape gardens and things that surround the properties?
So on the developments, there is normally what we call a management charge, and that's where the open spaces are maintained, and everybody pays the same amount. So again, the sales consultants will be able to provide all this information because it does vary from development to development. If you are buying an apartment, you will have leasehold costs that are associated with the apartment itself as well. But all the developments with the open space that's actually looked after will incur a management charge.
That's very good, thank you. Somebody has asked, are there any more houses to be made available at Oaklands?
Oaklands Hamlet at Chigwell, yes, there will be further houses coming through. We have got the last phase to come onto Oaklands Hamlet, so that's being looked at currently.
Excellent, thank you. So there has been so much information here. I know that everybody's probably buzzing with it. So do go to YouTube and search Countryside Prop, where you can watch it at your leisure as many times as you like, so that you can take in all the information, make notes, and obviously take in what we've all been talking about today. So we'll now open it up for some more questions. So let's have a look. We've got so many coming in. Oh, I know there's one that was about Beaulieu. What's the frequency of the train service, and how long does it take to get into central London? Does Charlotte or Joe know that one?
So the train, so once you get to the train station at Chelmsford,
yes.
So depending on which train you would get on there, you're looking around a 40-minute train journey. Just depending on which train you actually utilise, that will take you into London Liverpool Street.
That's so
quick. It's
Yeah.
very good. Yeah, it's very good. And obviously the shuttle bus, you know, the Beaulieu courtesy vehicle, will take you straight to the train station from the development.
Absolutely amazing. I lived in Chelmsford for a short period, and the commute is very fast, very quick. But what was so lovely is Chelmsford is surrounded by a beautiful countryside. So you've got the best of both worlds, haven't you?
Yes.
Really good. So Charlotte, one of the questions about the Bank of Mum and Dad that you spoke about, somebody said, just to be clear, for the Bank of Mum and Dad, do they have to pay towards the full 5% deposit?
Yes, yeah. So it would be a parent's contribution or family member's contribution towards the 5% deposit or 10% deposit, obviously, if you're not using Help to Buy, but it would have to be at least 5% that they were contributing to be able to be eligible for the scheme.
Right. And either Chris or Dom, I know we did touch on this, but somebody's come up, the likelihood of being accepted into the scheme and getting a mortgage, being self-employed from March last year. If they've only been self-employed for a year.
Would you like
yeah. So with self-employed, we do have lenders that will accept 1 year's figures. So to rule that out completely, we've got lenders that are open for business. The key thing they're going to look at is going to be what was you doing prior, what line of work prior to going self-employed. So, for example, if you're an IT contractor set up through your limited company for the last 12 months, prior to that you was employed PAYE in an IT position, that would be acceptable. So we can very much help with that.
You're still going to jump down to the sustainability of the income as well. You know, if you're in a line of work where actually it's very unlikely you'll be going back to work for a little while, maybe in a bar, owning a restaurant or something,
yes.
You know, it could make it a little bit more difficult, which is why it's important to review these on a case-by-case basis, a little bit of research, and we'll see where it ends up. But typically, 1 year's account is okay, as Chris just pointed out.
Yes.
Where that is going to affect people going forward with Help to Buy, because of course the scheme does end next year. So for those clients that are reserving properties where the build completion date is a little bit ambiguous at the moment,
Yes.
then there's a conversation to be had there with your sales progressor and your financial advisor, just to make sure that we have dotted the I's across the T's and prepared as much as we can.
Very good, thank you. And a question, are any of the properties in Harlow eligible for London Help to Buy?
No.
I would assume not, because Harlow is in Essex, so that wouldn't fall under the London Help to Buy. But it would fall under the normal Help to Buy, which we discussed. So it would be a 20% loan, not a 40% equity loan. I think we've got time just for a couple more questions. Somebody has asked if they've already bought through shared ownership, which is another government scheme. Can you buy under Help to Buy now? As far as I'm aware, you can.
Yes. Yeah, Help to Buy is available for next time buyers.
Yes.
That will, of course, change next year.
That will change next year. But if you've bought in the past through shared ownership, at this moment in time, you definitely can go through the Help to Buy scheme.
Yes.
And then we've got somebody said, I have read that you have to pay rent on top of the mortgage. Is that correct? And how is it calculated?
Chris?
Yeah, so rent is more relevant to shared ownership. With shared equity, which is the Help to Buy scheme, you get charged interest at the end of 5 years. So the interest calculation is 1.75% of the Help to Buy equity loan. So on 100,000 equity loan, that'll be £17.50 per annum.
Right.
So roughly £150 a month. And that will increase annually with RPI plus 1%, assuming you haven't bought back the Help to Buy at the end of the 5 years. So we're going through the motions with clients at the moment on that to buy that out to avoid paying interest.
Oh, great. So you can see on your screen now that you've got all the details. If you want to contact Chris or Dom, you've got their phone numbers and their email addresses. So if anybody's got any more questions that they want to ask after this or sometime next week or whenever they want to, I know Chris and John would be happy to take your calls. If we can just go back, yes, to this one. So these are all these wonderful developments that Joe was talking about. Underneath you'll see the phone number to call if you want to talk to a sales advisor, and also you've got the website. So as I say, do go onto YouTube, onto Countryside Prop if you want to sort of look at this again so that you can take these numbers down. I know how hard it is when you're trying to listen and write at the same time, but they're all absolutely beautiful. And if anybody's interested, do call any of those numbers, and one of the Countryside sales advisors will be happy to help you. So I think we've got one more question, and I think we might then have to say goodbye. But so I'm looking at, somebody's looking at the website at homes in Chigwell, and there are homes in excess of 600,000. How does that work with the Help to Buy scheme in terms of the 40% offer? So if the home, as far as I can see, if it's in excess of 600,000, you won't be able to use Help to Buy, because 600,000 is the cap. You can't buy anything more expensive than that. So sadly, if you're looking at a home which is 650,000, I'm afraid you can't do Help to Buy. And just one very, very quick one. Is there a fee for using the shuttle bus from Oaklands to Hainault Station?
There is a cost to actually. It's the shuttle bus is there, but it runs backwards and forwards all day long. But it's payable.
Right. Yeah, preferable to getting a normal bus, I'm sure, because it's just going to go straight there and back. It's not going to do lots of stops in the middle.
No, it runs through the development as well.
Absolutely. So, you know, wherever you live, you can just hop on that and you'll be in the station without having to do any detours along the way. Great. Well, I think that we would like to thank Charlotte, Joe, Chris and John for being so wonderful today and explaining in great easy terms exactly what the Help to Buy scheme is, the financial side of it, and highlighting some of these wonderful developments. And if anybody's also interested, First Time Buyer magazine, if you have a look at that, we always have lots of nice information and guides to help you through the process. So thank you all very much, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Linda.
Bye.